Hey everybody, welcome back to the I should say to the first episode of Pokemon Heart and Soul. Today we are going to be shiny hunting for a Larvitar. For those of you who don't know, Larvitar in Pokemon Heart and Soul is available in the Dark Cave. Okay, so it's a 5% encounter, and your shiny odds in this game are changeable at the very beginning. So I actually changed my shiny odds to 1 out of 512 because I love shiny hunting, but I don't like how long it takes. So far, we have a shiny Zubat, and we have a shiny Crocodile. And I have run into 2 shiny Zubats. This was the first one that I got that stayed on my team. And the other one is in my PC back at the Pokemon Center. And then I did fail a shiny Geodude. Ironically enough, I actually failed a shiny Geodude. I critical hit with Bite, even though it shouldn't have taken it out. And it did. It ended up taking him out. So Larvitar is here in Dark Cave. Again, shiny odds are 1 out of 512. There are a lot of options for this Pokemon ROM, so I really do recommend you guys check out Pokemon Heart and Soul. You have to get the Emerald ROM itself, and then apply the Pokemon Heart and Soul 1.1.4 patch to that ROM. I do believe all that information is on the GitHub page, or you could join the Discord and get the Pokemon Heart and Soul Discord server, and then get Pokemon Heart and Soul from there. So, hopefully that explains everything, and you guys are able to please pick this ROM up. It is great. It's available on iOS. Look at that, we got a shiny Larvitar. Or, we got a Larvitar, not a shiny Larvitar, but we got a Larvitar. It's on iOS for iPhone. And you can actually... I'm playing it here on the Delta emulator, as you can see. And it's available on Android. It's available on PC. I've seen people playing this on their Nintendo 3DSs. I've seen it on other game systems as well. So, we're going to go ahead and run. I don't know if you guys could tell, but if you hold L, R, and A at the same time there at the beginning, you can run away from the battle instantly before throwing out your Pokemon. If you go to the menu function, there is a fast forward option. You have access to your save states. So if I run into a shiny Zubat, right? So this was a wild Zubat encounter that I saved on. And if you look, we go back, and in my inventory, I have all these Pokemon. The only thing is the problem with me having done that is I actually had less Pokeballs. So, hopefully I saved after I bought those. I think I did. I might not have. Hold on. Because I went and bought a bunch of freaking Pokeballs. Yeah, okay. I'm going to have to whittle the Larvitar's health down. Hopefully I don't crit kill it. But we're going to save just so if I do run into shiny Larvitar at all. In the last 3 days, though, just to kind of give you guys an idea, I have managed to get literally the 3 shinies. Like, it's on it. I'm sorry, last 3 days isn't realistic. The last week I've gotten about 3 shinies, and that's hunting on and off for like maybe an hour to 30 minutes per day. Like, not even every day either. And that's just in the last week. And then speed up obviously does really well to speed things up. I think the goal here with Larvitar is try to get that supersonic on him, right? And get him to hit himself. And then attack with Poison Sting. Whittle his health down. And then start hucking balls, because he'll be losing health. And I'll have a save state up, so if he does like try to kill himself, that won't happen. We're gonna reset that. So again, 2 shiny Zubats, both of which I have. One's at the PC, and then a shiny Geodude that I failed earlier at work. It was kind of funny. I was trying not to pass out, never saw the shiny sparkles, and it looked shiny. It didn't have that gray sheen that it normally has. It's got that golden color. I was like, is that a shiny? And I think it is. And then I went and failed it because I got a critical hit bite, and I didn't think to save on it. But I never saw any shiny sparkles come from it. And you do see those, trust me. So you send out your Pokemon, right? And then he sparkles. So you do see the shiny sparkles. You do hear the sound effect. But definitely check this ROM out, guys. It's awesome. I've never been a big fan of Pokemon ROMs. And I've played the quote-unquote good ones. Of course, I never completed it, so I never let it, grow on me. Or I never had a good experience with the emulators. And so, this is the first one I've played. When I first started playing this ROM, I wasn't doing a shiny only run. I was trying to shiny hunt here and there, but I had full odds, and I didn't really care for it. I got past Lance. I beat Lance. And then, unfortunately, I imported some save data, some old save data that got rid of my stuff. And and instead of exporting my save data from the game to my phone, I imported old save data from my phone onto the game, and then it just ruined everything. So, Larvitar here has a 5% chance of being encountered. So that's realistically 1 out of 20 Pokemon that I run into. Out of 20 Pokemon I run into, 1 is going to be a Larvitar. Obviously, with chance, that can be lower and that can be higher. It might take me 40 encounters before I run into a Larvitar, right? So it's just something you need to keep in mind. With the 512 odds, my chances of getting this Larvitar are at, I think, 10,005 or 240 encounters, I believe, is what they are. And then I think with full odds, the 1 out of 8,192, That is 163,000 something Larvitar encounters. So, and this is Larvitar encounters. So it's going to take me like 10,000 Larvitar realistically to get a shiny. I think. If I'm doing my statistics right. I might not be. Who knows? But it's okay. Speed up has been a big help. And I've really enjoyed playing this game. Some of the things I've really enjoyed about this ROM hack. You can... I shouldn't say ROM hack, actually, because it's not a hack. There's no hacks in this. Everything is set. And so you can either make the game really hard, where you can't gain XP. Your Pokemon can't gain XP. You can make it to where trader Pokemon IVs are insanely good, and same with their EVs. You can also make it to where there are level caps. So your Pokemon can't be stronger than the first gym leader's ace Pokemon, right? So Falkner's like level 13, I believe. Your Pokemon can't get stronger than that. You can't over-level to 21 before you've gotten to Falkner, right? If you look here, Croconaw is level 21. It's freaking hilarious. You can change shiny odds, like I had said. There are 4 options. There's the 1 out of 8,192, 1 out of 4,096, 1 out of 1,024, and then 1 out of 512. And I am running the 1 out of 512. It gives you a very high chance, quote-unquote high chance, to run into shiny Pokemon. So, this ROM has Gen 1 through 3 Pokemon, so Gen 4 Pokemon and beyond, are not included, excluding Cleavor, which is an evolution from Scyther, Blood Moon Ursaluna, I believe, which is an evolution from Ursula. I believe that's the Pokemon's name. And I think there might be a few more special Pokemon that are included, but I do not know what they are. But yeah, every legendary is available except legendaries from Gen 4 and up. And I believe Arceus is also excluded. So I can get Lugia, I can get Ho-Oh, I can get Mew, Mewtwo, Celebi. Jirachi is excluded. He's not in here. Rayquaza, Kyogre, Groudon. You've got your fossil Pokemon, so Aerodactyl. I believe you can shiny hunt those as well. But the goal tonight is to get a shiny. And will I get a shiny? I don't know. But I would love to get a shiny. Starting a YouTube channel and being consistent on it and becoming a YouTuber has been something I've thought about for a while. But I thought in order to do that, I have to have all the fancy schmancy stuff. I gotta have the face cam. I gotta have the computer. I gotta have this. I gotta have that. And tonight I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get an app as long as it can record me talking and I can just shiny hunt and have my screen be recorded as well. there aren't any issues, and I can upload that to YouTube, and if people want to watch it, they can watch it. If you find my content interesting, you can subscribe and you can stick around and you can watch more, right? I do think it would be cool to have a shiny counter, right? So every time I'm running away from a Pokemon battle, it would count the encounter rate. But unfortunately, I don't know how to do that for the automatic. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to make an automatic shiny counter. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. Shiny hunting in Pokemon is something I really enjoy playing, and I would love to grow an audience playing this game, because right now, car mechanic, and so my body's going to start hurting one day, and I would like to be able to retire and do stuff I enjoy, and I know this is definitely something I really enjoy, playing Pokemon and getting to interact with other like-minded people who also love to play Pokemon. And so, I figured, hey, it's better late than never getting started on a YouTube channel, right? Just look at that Larvitar. They've got such cool sprite designs in this game. I really do enjoy looking at it. Also, don't know if I mentioned this, but the moves have been updated, right? So, for example, Typhlosion at higher levels gets access to the move Calm Mind, which is a huge, big deal for, just makes Typhlosion so much better. That special attack, special defense boost, makes him a little bulkier. He's taken those special attack hits a lot better than he normally would. Your physical sweepers are going to still come through and just wipe the floor with him if he doesn't outspeed, but I'm telling you, man, Typhlosion definitely needed access to the move. He got some other moves like, I noticed some more variety, so Earth Power, or early on I think it was Mud Shot, and then later levels he got Earth Power, which that kind of variety for your Pokemon is just so cool. And then in terms of other quality of life improvements that this ROM offers, let's say you've got Zubat here, right? And you defeat Chuck and you get the HM Fly. Well, you don't have to teach Fly to Zubat. You can just fly. As long as you've got the HM Fly and you've got the badge to use specified TM, you can click on that Pokemon and you can do the action, and you don't have to teach that HM to your Pokemon unless you want your Pokemon to have the move, because what if I want my Dragonite to know Fly for a physical flying attack, right? So, really big quality of life improvements introduced in this ROM hack. They do not encourage cheats on this game. I will let you know now. There are some people who have gone and they've put cheats on their version of this game, and they've had a lot of bugs pop up because of it. I know a very common one is People use cheats. They cheat in shiny Pokemon, or they cheat in rare candies or Master Balls, or whatever, and then suddenly you get to Chuck, and you can't fight Chuck. You're stuck. You're soft locked, and at that point you got to wipe your save and you got to start all over again. So the community, the Heart and Soul community, really does not encourage cheating, which I think is a great thing. You've already got a lot of options in this game, like increasing your shiny odds to 512. Depending on the emulator you're using, you can literally make save states. Right? You can literally make save states. So if I run into, the next shiny Pokemon I run into, I'm making a save state before I do anything to it. So it's got full PP, it's got full health, and from there it's all chance, right? Because the chances aren't going to be the same. My move might miss. It might not miss first turn. If I confuse, the Pokemon might hurt itself in confusion. It might not, right? And so, I've only got X amount of Pokeballs. I'd love to catch Larvitar or, whatever shinies I run into in X amount of balls, right? But yeah, this ROM hack, or this ROM, not this ROM hack, it's not a ROM hack. This ROM is freaking awesome. Just look at how useful the Pokedex is, right? Let's go to Pokemon you own. For Totodile, it gives you the base stats. It gives you the base stats for Crocodile. This is good stuff, right? It gives you stats. It tells you at what level a Pokemon will learn the move. So Crunch is an egg move. Thrash is an egg move. Hydro Pump, egg move. Ancient Power, egg move. Rock Slide, egg move. Mud Sport, egg move. Dragon Dance, Ice Punch, Metal Claw, Dragon Claw. It's unfortunate Outrage isn't either, but, you might be able to teach it via TM, because I do believe that's a TM in this game. And then it tells you what moves Totodile learns at what level. So level 9, Water Gun. Rage at 13. Bubble Beam at 15. Bite at 20. Flail at 22. Scary Face at 27. Crunch at 27. So at 27, Scary Face and Crunch, right? Low Kick, Slash, Shadow Claw, Super Power, Screech, Hydro Pump, and then it tells you the TMs it can learn. Let's look for that Outrage TM, right? Can it learn Outrage? Mega Punch, Sword Stance, Mega Kick, Body Slam, Double Edge, Counter. Alright, so no Outrage, unfortunately, but that's cool. Like, you still got access to Dragon Claw and Dragon Dance. That's a big freaking deal, dude. It gives you the evolutions. Tells you that he levels up into Crocodile at level 18. Levels into Feraligatr at level 30. Right? So the Pokedex was also made a lot more useful in this game. And I think in the next update, 1.1.5, they were talking about when you go to your Pokemon menu, rather than having to go into the Pokedex and looking for, let's say you want to find Zubat, right? You can just press select on Zubat, and in the it'll go straight to its Pokedex entry in the Pokedex, which I think would be an awesome quality of life option, right? Because I know people in the Discord server were complaining about not being able to use the Pokedex as much because it's hard to navigate. It's, if you want to go down to Larvitar, you got to scroll all the way freaking down, dude. That's pretty quick with speed up, right? But without speed up, that's slow, right? And the search, even the search function is still slow. Search, name, L, color, green, type, rock. Okay. What do you mean no matching Pokemon were found? Let's do none. Search completed. Literally the only Pokemon it comes up with. That is funny. I'm sorry, that was funny. Let's find out. It doesn't say what type you are, actually. And maybe it's just because I don't have his information, right? That's probably what it is, actually. I don't have him yet, so it's not going to tell me what type he is, because it doesn't know. Technically, it's not registered yet. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get more Pokeballs because I need them. So you guys are seeing speed up in action. And if I run into a shiny out here, I'm going to seriously rage quit. Because it could have been a shiny Larvitar that I was going to get. So as you can see, there's little Pokemon running around. There's a little Rattata. There's a Pidgeot up on the gym there. Depending on the route, there's actually berry trees. So instead of apricorns, Kurt uses berries now. Super awesome quality of life stuff. There's a little Miss Magius there in the trees. There's just so much quality of life stuff. There's a little Poliwag there. If you surf or go fishing, you'll run into those. There's a little Bellsprout there. And on the routes, you might see a Rattata on the route over here, right? And that's because you're actually going to run into Rattata. Or you might see Hoot at night. And that's because at nighttime, you're actually going to run into Hoot. Really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and buy those Great Balls. And that'll make it a little easier to catch Larvitar. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to heal our Pokemon. We're going to deposit all these guys. Those were from Pokeballs that I accidentally threw. So as you can see, there's a Bellsprout there. There's a Bug Trainer here. You run into Spinarak. Another quality of life option. There are some Pokemon like Haunter that only evolve through trade. Obviously, because this is a ROM, you can't trade. I don't think they've figured that out yet. I don't know if that's something they're willing to figure out, right? So rather than Haunter evolving by trade, you level it up to level 42, and it evolves into Gengar. Pokemon like Steelix, they need to be holding, Onix needs to be holding the metal coat, and you have to trade it. But in this game, Onix needs to hold the metal coat, and you can level it up with a rare candy. Or you can get it close to leveling up, give it that metal coat, level it up, and you've got yourself a Steelix. Same with Pokemon like Seadra and the Dragon Scale. Really cool. Makes it easy to get trade Pokemon like Electivire or Magamortar, right? You've got access. There are no version exclusives, so you have, if there's an option where a certain NPC will come along and they'll ask you to pick a color, and you won't really realize it, and you'll be actually picking your legendary. So X color for Lugia, X color for Ho-Oh. And whichever color you don't pick, you're going to run into in the Kanto region, right? So it'll be like Heart Gold or Soul Silver, where you can get it the other legendary in the Kanto region. And those Pokemon are not shiny locked. And it's actually really cool. You can run away from any Pokemon that's static, and then you can press on it again. So you don't need to save and soft reset in front of it. Because the soft reset buttons in this, for my emulator right here anyway, they're a pain in the butt because I have to press select, start, B, and then A. And that's how I soft reset. But it's actually really cool because every time you run, let's say you're in front of Lugia and you run from Lugia, the next Lugia you run into, let's say the first one is an adamant nature. The next Lugia you run into could be a modest nature or a brave nature. The point I'm trying to make is that the IVs, EVs, and nature and shininess can all change. They're all going to be different Pokemon. So you can shiny hunt just by clicking on the Lugia and then running away from the Lugia. So, really cool quality of life stuff that they've thrown in there. And I do believe that Mega Evolution has been something the devs have been talking about doing. Although they were talking that it's going to be a while. So like version 2.0 might introduce Mega Evolution. It's definitely something that's been discussed. I know... other excluded legendaries would include the Regis, because what I was about to go into is they're trying to find creative ways that make sense to the world of Pokemon to include these kinds of things, right? So how are you going to include Mega Evolution, right? How are you going to include the Regis? Are you going to create your own events? Where's the trainer going to get this item, right? So, really, really cool ROM hack. It's not a ROM hack. And the people in the Discord are friggin' awesome, dude. Every Pokemon, Generation 1 through 3, is available, excluding a few. Arceus, Jirachi, and the Regis. I think those are the only exclusions. You have access to Articuno. You have access to Moltres, Zapdos. Oh, for evolutions, Sylveon is in here, which is friggin' awesome. That is such a cool little inclusion there. So, figured I would mention that as well, right? But I do think that's going to be it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Got a cool little Dunsparce there. And let me know if you want me to do more of this. Because, then I'd save up for a PC. You guys would have a face cam. It's all stuff I'm considering doing, but I want to make sure that people are watching this content and they like it before it's something I really just, no, I'm not gonna do that, right? If this is something I'm gonna commit to, I want to make sure that people are enjoying what I'm putting out now. So, there's a shiny Zubat for you. Oh, We're going to go ahead and soft reset real quick. Yeah, look at that. That's the intro screen that I believe was made custom. You got the lighthouse there in Olivine City. You've got Lugia up in the cloud there, or Ho-Oh up in the cloud there. Lugia down in the ocean. And you've got Suicune right there on that rock. Really cool. Just really cool stuff. So props to the creator of this. He did a wonderful, fantastic job. And I'm glad I get to share it. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. And you have a good rest of your day.